Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Now for today's video I'm going to be going over another one of my builds on the final build series, and we have hit the end of the major builds because we are now hitting the destroyers. Actually not the major, the minor builds, because we are hitting destroyers. So here is something for you to note when it comes to these. Destroyers are one of the more versatile ships. I know for a fact I've taken destroyers all the way up to T9, right? Now unfortunately that was pre-debuff modules. That's your warp scramblers and all of those artifacts that were added in later. So when it comes to these right now, their strength has been majorly reduced compared to what they were back then in the start. And I haven't really used that many destroyers total. I've used Cormorants, I've used interdiction destroyers, but the one thing that I can say for sure is they are really powerful when it comes to their usage as weapons. And obviously I know that I can't give you a perfect build on these because there's so much that has changed, but they are still effective for the roles that I would give them. Obviously, I know that the Nemesis that I gave was effective up to T10, but this one here will only be effective up to something like T8. And that's because of the effect of battle cruisers. Battle cruisers are really good at taking out ships, and the one thing that makes them even more dangerous is if they are put into a favorable position where they fight something like a destroyer. It's not as fast as a frigate, but it is in between the classes, so they take slightly less damage, and if you position yourself right, you can really put on the damage quickly. So that is one of the things which really makes this class really difficult to design for a final farewell to the classes, right? So I will be going through with the Cormorant. Now the Cormorant is the basic model, plus 25% railgun optimal range. A lot of people change it up and use missiles on it, but I will keep with the railguns for this ship because there are a few things that I can do. These are one of the basic ships. As you can see, there's no engineering modules, no weapon modules. So I will be going with it. I will be building this here and we'll see how it goes. And obviously in the next video you're going to get more of the series. They will be split up because there's going to be the Cormorant, then there's going to be the Navy class. I don't know if there is a trainer issue for these vessels. We'll find out about that as soon as we reach that point. For now, we only have these for our current playthrough. So that's all that I can really offer you in terms of any type of show of power. So right, let's go for it. 25% optimal range for the Cormorant, plus 6% railgun damage, plus 5% railgun optimal range. Now as you can see, there's two optimal ranges added here. Put together it's a 50% increase to its optimal range. So it is a major change overall to everything that we've seen so far from these ships. So it has a 50% boost and it does use small weapons. There is something else to remember. And here's the major boost for the Common series, plus 5% shield. When you put it in all together, that's 25%. Now since we have hit rank 10 as our maximum, you don't have a reason to say that you can't reach full power on this vessel. This vessel can reach full power. You just have to take some patience and put it into the ship. You will get a very good weapon out of it at the end of the day. It is still effective. This will stay effective up to T7. Even though with the total of everything that I've said, T7 isn't generally where you want to be. Most of these ships can be taken up to T8. They will fail against T9 90% of the time, but they can effectively fight small to low class battles in T9. That's just the way that it is. They can't take on a lot of ships, and if they are outnumbered by too many smaller vessels, they tend to lose their advantage in combat. With a 3,108 overall total defensive capability, it is a minor tank. It is not a major tank. Along with the fact that its benefits and buffs will kick in towards shielding the ship, it does make a difference. At 279 meters per second, the ship is absolutely ineffective when it comes to running away. It does have a minor damage reduction, but it is able to take on damage from higher class ships at full power. That is the warning with the ship. That is why you don't normally stay for the regular Cormorant. You go for Cormorant Interdictor, you go for Cormorant Guardian, you go to the higher classes within the ship. Okay, so as you can see, 4.5 AU, it's still quite fast to get around. 57 megawatts power grid. It's not that huge, but it is a little bit of an improvement. 497 gigajoules capacitor, not that much of an improvement as well, and an 850 cubic meter cargo hold, massive improvement from the previous class. Now, the difference between your starting and where you are right now when you upgrade from a frigate to a destroyer is the frigate is way faster. It applies more damage, but it takes more of a risk when it is stopped. The Cormorant, on the other hand, and all of these destroyers, they dish out more damage as a standard, and they take as much damage as a frigate, right? So you can put them in the same class, but they lose their speed advantage. They're good at taking out frigates. They apply massive amounts of damage to frigates. That is where they come in very handy, but they do lose against certain bigger ships like cruisers and battle cruisers. Cruisers and battle cruisers are optimized for combat within all the classes around them. That is why a lot of people will use a cruiser or a battle cruiser as their endgame ship. Okay, so let's get into this one here. 3 weapons, 2 mid, 3 low. Now obviously this isn't the best ship to start with, so let's go to the railguns. Now obviously these first few are going to be just like this. They're going to have nothing of real consequence until we reach the Cormorant 2, as you could see. Okay, now considering what I said about it, it isn't super fast. We are not going snub nose. If you go snub nose with the ship, you're going to be obliterated in combat. Okay, so we're going rifled railguns. The whole idea is we need some range on the ship. The ship isn't going to catch up to anything fast, and this particular ship isn't really all that useful. It will be effective in combat up to somewhere around T7. It won't be able to touch T8, but even at T7 you stand a strong chance of being destroyed using the ship. So even if you do take it to your advantage that you got an optimal range increase, please be warned when it comes to the ship. Alright, so here we go. 13 megawatts per weapon. Remember, we have 57 and we have 3 of these. 3 of them put together will give us 39 megawatts out of the 57. Remember, your research does play an important role in how far the ship can go. Now, one other thing to note, the ship is absolutely weak by comparison to a lot of other ships. You basically lost 40 megawatts just putting on the weapons, and that leaves you with just 18 for the rest of it. Mid slots, don't even worry about thinking about drones yet. It's not going to play a part here. We're just going to go double predator stasis weber fire. The other option of a of a scrambler isn't really worth it for the ship. It's too low class, too slow, too weak. You're not getting anywhere. You minus 2 from the total of 18, you have 16 megawatts to do for the rest of the system. Yes, there is the added 25 that comes in the end, but I am not holding on to it for a very large advantage. You'll find out why when I go to the next version of the ship. Okay, it has a massive shield advantage with 3 slots, so we're going to go all the way down to X-type, and we're going to go with the 6 megawatts loss for the shield. That's going to give us 6 megawatts. This ship is absolutely ineffective at keeping a constant regeneration, so do not count on constant regeneration for this particular class of vessel. Alright, so shield booster is on. 6 megawatts. These are basic ships. When I say this is a basic ship, don't underestimate what I mean by it. I mean the ship is absolutely ineffective against other ships. It is a basic ship for you to regain your footing if you are climbing back up the ladder to get a ship again. So if you're one of those unfortunate players who's got absolutely obliterated, everything of yours is locked away behind a couple billion for you to reopen your stuff. When you're restarting and you're getting those baby ships all over again, you take out your Ibis, you take out level 1 mission, you take all the stock that you get from it and you keep recycling it. By the time you're done with it, you get a little bit of money. You can buy one of these Cormorants because they're very cheap. You upgrade it again to the next level Cormorant and you keep upgrading in that manner. Once you have enough, you buy all your stuff back from wherever it's been impounded at whichever station, and you can once again be part of the game. It takes a long time to do it, but this is for free to plays. There is a manner in which you use the ship. Now, understanding that we only have 2 other slots on the low slots, you want the ship to have some speed. It is absolutely abysmal when it comes to speed. So 17 megawatts is going to be knocked off by this X-type small afterburner. Now understand, I already know that we are at 10. So that means we've taken out 7 from the 25 that is available, and we're left with a little bit of leeway for our last item. Now, compared to the other ships, this ship doesn't have the advantage of extreme resistance. So extenders or hardeners are going to be your big player, and I will go with adaptive anytime. They are always the king of all resistance. So 1 megawatt to add an adaptive in, and this here is where you balance out your power. Now obviously if you are suiting out the ship, you're going to suit it out in the lowest range power weapons. That is where it's meant to be. But I just gave it a high power value because you could always set it up before you lose everything. Go to high sec, set up 1 or 2 of these ships, and you always have a backup to go when you need to go on the offensive. Obviously this is the worst case scenario where you've lost everything more than once or more than twice, right? You set up all these backups and you can refresh yourself at a later point in the game. Now a lot of people miss these opportunities, and it's one of the reasons why so many people get upset within the game. They don't cultivate proper backups, and you can't recover where you are without having a very good backup in your reserve. And yes, it takes a few months to get back in the game if you get knocked off your throne when you are a billion plus player. Sometimes you can never get back to where you were. That's how bad a loss can be at this level. Yes, I'm one of those players who never was able to recover after the major reduction in earning, so always take that as a possibility. Okay, now those are the fittings for the Cormorant. I hope that you all do enjoy. Catch you all in the next one.